Hello, Scorpio. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. And I'm just going to get straight into Scorpio. So let's take a look at what's coming up for Scorpio. Okay, it looks like, the first three cards out of the gate there, Scorpio, are a little tough regarding love, romance, or feeling loss. So, I try to just read the cards as they come. I truly believe that the cards are neutral, that there's not necessarily any good or bad, but it's just the message is what it is. So some of you Scorpios, I'm actually getting the ones that are not attached romantically. There's some sort of block to Two of Cups energy. Now, so Two of Cups has to do with like a love affair, exchanging heart energy with another, feeling close to another person. And the fact that it's in reverse says that energy is present, but that it's just being held under the surface, or it's in delay, or you don't have access to it. That's really the message that I'm getting. Is so whether you're single or in a relationship, there's something that I don't know why, but I just got that song of like, you don't bring me flowers anymore. That kind of came into my head. So it's feeling like cut off, or that's there, but you're not getting access to it, that you're not being able to connect to it. And then this card in reverse shows loss. If you see Five of Coins here, it shows this spiritual figure who's comforting the person who's here on earth. And what I always point out in this card is that it's really about choice of focus. There's all this warmth and glowing light coming from within the church, where it's warm, where the doors are always open, but this guy is staying out in the cold and is focused on his hurt, bandaged head, which actually has to do with this too, which is sadness, betrayal, disappointment. So some of you, Scorpio, may be feeling a little bit of disappointment or sadness or loss regarding a relationship, or just not feeling like you have access to heart exchange energy. And what I want to offer to you is that when we look at what's happening in the physical world, we sometimes forget that there is warmth, love, in the spiritual world that's always available to us. Even seeing this in the reverse position tells me that you might be feeling really cut off from that right now, Scorpio. You might be feeling a lot of this, which is third wheel energy. So this is like if there might be a third person involved, or just feeling sadness. Maybe this person isn't who you thought they were, or you feel sad because you can't connect with another person. But there's other stuff happening here too. So I'm going to keep moving on. But for some of you Scorpios, I'm just getting like it's a little bit tough. I don't want to candy coat it. So I'm just reading what the cards say. And then Hierophant, this card says do something different. When Hierophant is in the upright position, it has to do with traditionalism, conventionality, doing things that conform to normal. And when I say normal, I mean like ways that the majority or the masses do things. Conventionality, again, just traditionalism. But when he's in the reverse position, it's kind of like saying you can do something different. And maybe, I'm seeing it here. It's funny that there's these two spiritual figures that are appearing for you, Scorpio. It's interesting, too, that they're both in the reverse position. We've got the nun and the priest, both in reverse. So what that tells me is that there's some way that you're not connecting with spirit, potentially, that's causing a lot of this heartbreak, disappointment, betrayal. When we focus on like just what's here on the physical plane, that's the Five of Cups message, we can really feel left out in the cold. So what I'm going to say is, what can you do to turn these cards right side up? Connect with your spiritual practice. Now, whether that and this can be different for everyone. For some people, it's religion. For some people, yoga is their spiritual practice. For some people, nature is how they connect to the spiritual world. Whatever it is for you, we're all different. Whatever it is that you recognize as the divine, it's showing that you have comfort coming to you from that. But you may have to reorient yourself because they're both in reverse. You may have to reorient yourself, like do a 180 to see that. And you may be too involved in life here on earth, the physical plane, and that's what's causing you this heartbreak or this disappointment. And that's, it's keeping heart energy from getting to. So I'm going to say connect to your spiritual center, whatever your practice is. It's also echoing here that this is really going to help you because Hangman in the middle of the month shows enlightenment through doing something different. Both of these, interesting, really interesting, Scorpio. You have Hanged Man. He's actually in the upright position in this position, which is where he's at. And then you've got Hierophant in reverse. So it's really saying, march to the beat of your own drum. Do something different. Change your perspective. That's really what I'm getting for you. Because you need to do a 180, both in this card, in this card, in this card. It's saying look at things from a different point of view. Look at things from a different angle. Do a 180 because this is where he gets enlightenment. This guy's at peace. Even though he's hanging upside down and doing things in a way, he's looked at as like the outlaw, as the person who does not conform. It's definitely, this is doubly echoing things that you get to sort of buck the system or do things in your own eccentric way. If you know any Aquarian friends, Scorpio, they're going to help you out a lot with this because they know how to do this like in their sleep. And that's what this card can be too. This is an air sign. So this is either Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. And if you know any Aquarians, they are going to help you out. Definitely look to them. This is like the rescuer. This is the person who's not afraid of anything. If you look at Knight of Swords, he's like going into the burning buildings. He has such a reliance on his strong, logical, analytical mind that he's rational. He's not afraid of anything. He can be a little sharp and he can be very blunt. Like he can confront you with the truth sometimes when you may not want to hear it. But he's also, he rushes into things that could be dangerous, but he has a tremendous sense of courage. And he's also very incisive. He's able to get to the bottom of a problem very quickly. He's able to find solutions because he's got this razor sharp mind. So if you know any air signs, or especially an Aquarius, because they know about this kind of energy, they're going to be your ally. Especially Scorpio, if you are too much in Earth, like this is Knight of Coins, which has to do with Earth. Again, funny enough, it's in reverse here, echoing this Earth card in reverse. Coins represent the physical world, life here on Earth, money, assets, possession, even materiality versus spirituality. That may be a theme here. So this is head to head. He might be confronting you. This could be male or female, by the way. He could be confronting you with look at this attachment to materiality and look at how it's turning you upside down. But you might feel a little bit guarded about that or, on the defense. It's all this armor. So it's really sapping your joy. I mean, this could be worries about money, Scorpio. These are both money cards in reverse. And this is the Sun, which is a very positive card. It's positive even in its reverse. But this has to do with feeling joyful, feeling a lot of vitality, like a sunny, carefree, enthusiastic, complete, integrated version of yourself. And with the Sun in reverse, it's just echoing for me. You need to turn things around. You just need to see things from a different perspective, because once you see things from a different perspective, let me just give you an example, Scorpio. Watch what happens if you do see things from a different perspective. This flips around, all of a sudden you're connected with money. This flips around, all of a sudden you can see this golden energy. You receive help. This flips around, you become joyful, full, integrated, sunny. This flips around, Two of Cups, relationship and emotional energy happens. This flips around, which means your sadness starts to dissipate. This flips around, which means you have a connection to the spiritual world. So try to take this lesson, especially from Hangman, who sees things from a different point of view, sees things from a 180 from everybody else, because you do have your own unique point of view, Scorpio. Your point of view is absolutely valid, and it's actually going to bring you a lot of peace, especially towards the middle of the month. If you can tune into not worrying what other people think, and not caring, and not feeling like you have to conform to everything, that's going to really help you. That's going to really bring you some enlightenment, some peace, some just spiritual comfort, because that's kind of what I'm getting that you might be wanting and needing. So rely upon any logical, analytical friends, people who you recognize as like mind people. They are usually very just, very fair, very, it can be someone who's crusading is what I'm getting from Knight of Swords. He's usually on a crusade, and he's usually, championing a cause. So if you have a friend like that, maybe they can help you access this. Just remember, the spiritual world is going to help you not feel left out in the cold, especially if you're having worries about money or anything that's on your heart. And then towards the end of the month, you're being given an opportunity to allow new emotions in. And now you're a water sign, Scorpio. So if you look at this card, this is the moon card. And this has to do, if you look at this lobster, or sometimes I'll call it a crab, but you're the scorpion card. So I'm just going to call it, I'm going to associate it with Scorpio here, but it's emotions that are coming up from the depths. And they're coming out in this gentle light of the moon here. And moon is about finding what is true and what's real versus what's illusion or what's fantasy, what's solid versus what's changeable. The reason that the moon can present itself as illusion is because it's not actually emitting any of its own light. It's reflecting the light of the sun, but it appears to emit its own light. So when moon comes up, it's a very poetic card, and it can be like tapping into deep emotions, because that's what the moon is about. And you Scorpios usually have a lot of emotional depth anyway. So it's a good time to tap into your deep-seated feelings. It's a good time to try to find this middle path between what's wild and passionate and maybe irrational versus what's practical and logical and conscious and analytical. Again, this Knight of Swords person can help you with that. And it's good to find that middle path. If you're too much on the logical side, it can drain this beautiful moon energy, which is emotions. If you're too wild or passionate, or I won't say too passionate, but if you're too wild, this can go into lunacy. That's when we see the full moon. We see that's where that word lunatic comes from. Over emotionality can be just as bad as not having any. So both of these have their place, both of these have their balance, but allow these deep feelings to come up, Scorpio. That's an opportunity, because what it does is it snaps you out of this sleep of like this feeling of like, is that all there is? All three of these, by the way, Scorpio, is a over focus on sort of thinking that things are always going to be the same, looking at your physical reality and circumstances more than the spiritual. So with this Four of Cups, this is a card of sometimes feeling like checked out or aloof, because you feel like, oh, this is all I've got. This is all there ever is going to be. This is just the routine, same old, same old. So you start to let weeds grow around you because you don't really believe that more can be coming to you. But this card proves to you that, no, there is more coming to you. There's more love. There's more passion. There's more joy. There's more desire. But you kind of have to like look up and out of yourself. You have to do something different. That's really the theme I'm getting for you for this whole month, is you really have to just change your perspective. Look up and out for the fresh new thing that's trying to come in, Scorpio. You have to shake things up a little bit. Again, flip things around. I love what one of my friends says. He says, flip the script. You know, look at what beliefs are causing you to feel any of this Three of Swords energy, and just try saying the opposite of what it is, just for fun, just to experiment. This is like, I always say, like, drive home a different way from work or from where you're at, or talk to someone new, talk to a stranger. This is letting new love energy in. New cup. The universe is trying to hand you something new, but you really have to look up and out of yourself instead of focusing on just what is, because that's what's keeping you stuck, trapped, maybe just like, I just kind of get a little bit of depression or something going on with you, Scorpios. So I won't say snap out of it, because I don't think that that's useful or helpful. I would say lean more into it. Let this, find out where this is coming from. Let these deep emotions come up, because guess where it leads you? It leads you to, at the end of the month, to this place of success and strength and recognition. Six of Wands shows the hero or the rescuer. And this could be you, Scorpio, or this could be like a fire sign who comes to your rescue. This is a symbol of victory and triumph. So I kind of get the sense that at the end of the month, you get victory and triumph over whatever is causing you strife or struggle. You get there, Scorpio. So hang in there towards the end of the month. The end of the month is going to be your time to shine, because this card represents victory, triumph, being recognized, having your reputation be elevated, can be like a promotion. It's like you sitting up on the high horse and everyone saying, yeah, that's the person. He's the man or she's the woman. Like, that's the hero. So hang in there. Maybe do the deep digging that is necessary here. And again, flip the script. Rely on friends who are very logical and analytical. They're gonna be really helpful. And then at the end of the month, this is Page of Wands, which is the young apprentice. This is the enthusiastic, outgoing, willing person who is, not experienced, but who has enthusiasm and energy and optimism is what he brings to the game. So with these two looking at each other, I could see this as the younger part of you. With these three here, I'm kind of seeing that your maturity is going to outshine any youthful, like overly fiery energies. Page of Rods, I sometimes see this as like a really active teenager, because it is a youth and it's a youth of fire. So like, whereas in the past you may have wanted to say something like fiery or in anger, that could be fire energy. This guy has been through it and has experience and knowledge. He comes out triumphant. So I see this maturity at the end of the month. Maybe this is part of why you're going through this, Scorpio, is that you end up as this hero rescuing person who actually leads this person, this younger side of yourself. I see you triumphing over the younger part of yourself, Scorpio. So if you can relate to that, that's what's showing up for you at the end of the month. I think that the end of the month is going to be a really nice time for you, but I do see you having to kind of address some things, especially regarding the spiritual world. If you're feeling left out in the cold or any kind of loss, or that you're not able to access heart energy, rely on a logical friend, especially if they're an Aquarius, and do the deep emotional work here. See that the world does want to come at you with more love, with more passion, with more joy, more peace. You know, this cup here is a cup of my cup runneth over. My heart is full, but you can't see it or access it unless you lift your head up and look out on what else there is. So that's my reading for you, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with another Scorpio. And as always, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Yours in the stars.